In the world of diabetes, good sleep is not something that's talked about very much, but it is a tender subject because it's very, very difficult to achieve with diabetes, specifically when you're insulin dependent with diabetes. So, as a dietitian, a diabetes educator, and somebody who's had type 1 diabetes for 30 years, to help my sleep, I try to eat early. So, by the time I'm going to sleep, I have low carbs on board and low insulin on board. So, how I think of sleep is you're trying to get into this tunnel. And when you're in the tunnel, it's really hard to see and you can't take care of all the little things that you need to do. And so, you need to have the least amount of variables possible to get into that tunnel and stay there. In order to get into this tunnel, the two factors that I'm really paying attention to are keeping my carbs on board low and therefore also keeping my insulin on board low. In order to do this, I try to always eat dinner earlier, at least 3 hours before going to bed. Honestly, sometimes I try to do it 4 to 5. So, for example, if you eat a giant meal right before you go to bed, that's a lot of carbs on board, but also fat and protein, which all impact blood sugar. And then that's going to also put a lot of insulin on board. And especially later on the day when the metabolism is slowing, you can have more of a dramatic impact on your blood sugar several hours later, especially when foods are very high in saturated fat with carbohydrates going into your sleep. My tip for you, I know it's like, well, duh, I want to eat earlier, but just try it. Just 3 hours beforehand, trying to get less carbs on board, less insulin on board, less variables on board will dramatically improve your sleep. It'll help you have better numbers and you will be feeling better. So, hopefully, that's helpful for you. That's something that I think about all the time. And I'll see you next time.